Okay, so now the microphone is on, and I'm gonna make another quick review of that incredible game that is Resident Evil 8 Village on the PSVR2. Unfortunately, the PSVR2 has a few problems, which is related to the PS5, which is not able to handle such AAA games without tons of ghosting. Just by waving my hands like this, you see your hand double imaging here on both. You hold your knife and you can definitely there's something wrong, but as you all already know, not a single person or content contributors, influencers, and mega supreme liars are telling you that. Here it's even worse. It's 2 millimeter about the blade on the right side. Here it's 3 millimeters. Well, there's a lot of ghosting on AAA games such as Horizon and GT7, Gran Turismo 7. Okay, holding your gun like this. If I go that slow, I only have two red bar and there's a gap between those two. But if I shake this here, it's like 2 or 3 millimeters gap between the two red dots. And as for the white ones at the back of at the back of the gun, here it's 4 at such speed. Here is 3, and even slightly 4, but it doubles image everything. It's crap. It's really bad. But apparently Sony made a deal with every single content contributors. Do not do this, and do not compare the PSVR 2, but to the PSVR 1. How about the PSVR 0? It's even better. Well, and as for the FOV, up. If I hold my hand at the top of that pine and I just look at the edge of the wall here, and I try to expand the FOV by setting the headset as far as it is possible from my forehead. It's almost identical here as the Reverb G2 with the normal gasket, not the modded one with the what is the company VR cover with a VR cover face gasket. So it's almost the same, but I miss, this is strange because here I miss maybe 1 or 2 centimeters on the right from the Reverb G2, but if I go into that barn, the lateral FOV will get bigger, which doesn't make any sense. But the vertical FOV is better because with the Reverb G2 here, staring at the top of that pine, the first one, I would see only, yeah. That would be equivalent to the Reverb G2. So with the PSVR 2 you gain that much in vertical FOV by staring at that pine. Over there, Reverb G2, it would be with the normal face gasket, of course, the standard one which is delivered with the G2. But if you use a VR cover, it will be better, but you will have a little more chromatic aberration. So let's get into that barn. But before, if you strafe like this, all those plants are double imaging. It's terrible, and it's gonna impact your stomach, and you won't be able to play as long as you want to, because if you are very sensitive, you can forget about it, and if you are moderately sensitive to motion sickness, it won't take long for you really being bothered. And if you are almost immune, just like me, to motion sickness, it is just not. I don't know the term to say. Oh, No, he's still far away. Did you detect me? No, it's a script. It is bearable. Bearable, but in terms of visuals, it's terrible. Bearable, terrible. Okay, and you see there's some slight pop-up on the top of the roof, on the rooftop of that little house here. You get a geo mod. That's what they created about Halo 2, Halo 3 on Xbox One. Oh, yes, I guess it was on Xbox One. So we go into that small barn, and if we stick over there and we try to look at the first opening in the roof there vertically, and I will stare at the edge of the table on the left side. The V4V is almost similar this time, which doesn't make any sense because it was shorter over there than the Reverb G2, but the clarity here is way better at the edges of the lens. And you get a vertical V4V that will allow you to see the three planks covered with straws. With the Reverb G2, it was impossible. It was as far as it goes. Those three planks, that one, and that one, but not the three below that. So vertically it's better, and horizontally it depends. But here the ghosting on those bottles, on the tables, and I'm moving just that slow. It's still visible. It's just like you're suffering from short-sighted plus with motion blur. It's definitely not good, and that's why I guess Sony is not very enthusiastic about their headset, and they don't believe in it. But it doesn't appear to be bothering the PlayStation community, because everything is PlayStation is great, period. That's weird. And when you are showing them or telling them this, and you're showing them by the small video that I I was almost successful in terms of sweet spot, holding the cell phone and the headset and moving laterally to show them what's going on in terms of ghosting and double image. They still deny it. They are incredible. But here it looks like it runs at 45 frames per second, staring at the ground, because everything is double imaging. But that does not bother them. I don't know, maybe they got a TV, they buy a 4K TV, they play on flat screen, and they don't see anything because the TV is almost broken, and that does not bother them. Not being able to see what's in front of their eyes. When I played Gran Turismo 7, and I talked about some guys, they say, wow, who's looking at the panels in racing? Everyone, because they're on the left, on the right, on the top, they're everywhere. But or even at the plate of the car, you can see the letters of the numbers unless you are at 2 meters away. So this is ridiculous, but that does not bother them. The clarity is quite poor, and it's equivalent to a Rift S in terms of depth of field, but they claim there is not a problem. There's no problem with the PSVR2, but it is a huge problem. The PS5 is unable to run that thing properly when it comes to AAA games, but as for Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy and Song in the Smoke and Cosmonious High, you don't have that terrible ghosting and really poor performance. Yep, so I guess it's 120 Hz, and my right eye is already complaining about what is happening here by strafing like this. I'm starting to have a headache, but just on the right side of my head, which is quite weird. Maybe it is related to calibrating the eye tracking or something, and it bothers me much on the right eye, but just by doing this and seeing all that terrible ghosting, it does not help. So no, 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 no. Don't buy the PSVR2 if you were hoping to have the perfect VR headset. And about the 3090 Ti plus test persons from the Pavlov developers, apparently that was not what he exactly said about what you can expect in terms of power or resources from the PS5 coupled to the PSVR2 and its eye tracking or foveal rendering, because it's far from a 3090 Ti. It wouldn't do such things if that was equivalent to that using foveal rendering. So it is extremely disappointing. And I hope I'm gonna get a refund, because I'm pretty sure my glasses scratched the lenses. So I will just send it back and I will see what's gonna happen, if they're gonna refund or if I'm gonna ask for a discount on it. And I won't be able to get my 650 euros for that piece of crap headset. The crates, it's terrible. And they say, no, that does not bother me. How could that not be? Just like staring at your favorite games in 4K, but you would have a TV with a 50 milliseconds latency, or even more. It sucks. When you're not moving, or if you're rotating like this, by moving yourself or your head, you don't have that ghosting, that terrible ghosting effect. But here, when you're using smooth rotation, if you're crazy enough to do that in games, whatever the game, or strafing, or just moving forward, the PS5 cannot handle it. Too bad. So this is the end. I'm gonna just finish that stream the best way I can. Goodbye, suicide. Oh, it doesn't want me. It does not allow me to shoot myself if I have the gun below my skull. No, it doesn't want to shoot. Wow, you cannot suicide yourself. How about that? No, 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 they neutralized it. They don't want you to commit virtual suicide. Ah! But you can, you see, you can stab yourself. Oh yes, it's so good. Oh yeah, I love it. Okay, end of stream. So don't buy, don't buy, don't buy. Do not buy. Do not believe all those liars. No,